Hi, we're the Santangelos. I'm John, this is my wife April, my son Jake, our dog Harley. We moved into here at beautiful Pine Cliff Lake 2003. This was the home that we always dreamed of. It was a beautiful community, a great lake home. We walked up the street and there's a State Farm agent up there. The name's Tom Ziegblatt. He insures many of the people around here in this community. He came down and he helped us out. And State Farm is a great company, you know. We heard many great things about them, so they appraised the value of the home. And for 19 years, you know, everything went great. We religiously paid our premiums, and that coverage did increase by them over time. And then September 3rd of this year, the unthinkable happens. While our son Tyler was home, the house caught on fire. He was able to rescue our dog and rescue our cat. He suffered smoke inhalation.
He was treated at the hospital.
It turned out that it was no-fault electrical. We came home and we watched our house of 19 years that we raised 3 children in, we watched it burn.
Our neighbors grieved and cried with us.
Yeah.
They hugged us, they took in our pets. Our community came together and raised the next dollar amount of cash. That's how much this community means to us and we mean to them.
And you know what so many people said, firemen, police, the ambulance, our neighbors, all our first responders, they all said the same thing. You have State Farm, that should be good insurance, you'll rebuild. Probably the only thing that got us through that day was the fact that we vowed to rebuild. We were greeted here on Monday by our State Farm field adjuster. And he looked at me and said, John, it should be about 5 weeks and we'll have this settled. And they made the determination right there, it was no-fault electric and that we would be covered 100%. And we left that day feeling good. You know, we thought that we were on our way. So we finally landed on a very reputable, affordable local contractor. They told us that we needed to hand in our estimate, which our public adjuster did. Our public adjuster put in an estimate that came close to $500,000, a little bit over. Our contractor, and he gave us an estimate to rebuild the same house. And that came in close to $510,000. And then State Farm came in and their adjustment was $325,000 and $30,000 of that was depreciated, so it came to $295,000.
We can't even rebuild what we had with what State Farm is trying to give us, and significantly less than what we paid a premium of coverage for 19 years. Significantly less.
From there, our adjuster engaged State Farm and actually went through their complete estimate and gave a wonderful rebuttal with pictures and itemizations. All of this went back to State Farm, and we heard nothing. No response whatsoever from the adjuster.
Multiple attempts and multiple times, every single time we reached out, we were ignored.
In our frustration, I called up our State Farm agent and I asked him, what is my coverage? And he said, John, the coverage for your dwelling, which is just the house, is $491,000 plus 20%. We've never set our premium. We've never asked for a set amount of coverage. That was evaluated by State Farm in 2003 and has been raised according to whatever they've done since. After our claim, they raised our coverage by $19,000, but they're still saying it's only worth $325,000. And what we don't understand is how can you have a calculator that you use to charge premiums and then a completely different calculator to pay out when there's a claim. When we did ask our State Farm adjuster, they responded to us and they said, not all losses, even a total loss, will cover policy limits. And our response to him was, what type of loss would we need to have other than total to reach what you're charging us a premium for? My wife is a cancer survivor.
I just had a kidney removed less than 2 weeks ago. I can't work. This stress is excruciating.
We're asking State Farm, be our neighbor. Our neighbors were here
Honor your
every day.
contract.
Honor your contract.
Honor your contract.
Just to ignore us and to put us into a system that only favors you is unconscionable.